Hello, and welcome to the Simple Language Channel. My name is Mark. I am your storyteller today. I have a question for you. Are you ready? Here it is. Are people good or bad? Think about it for a moment. Maybe you said, people are good. Or maybe you said, it depends. Or maybe you said, I am not sure. All of those answers are interesting because this question is not simple. People have been asking this question for thousands of years, and today I want to talk about it with you. But first, let me ask you another question. Do you think people need rules? A rule is something you must do, or something you must not do. For example, do not steal, that is a rule. Or help other people, that is also a rule. Rules help us live together. Without rules, life is very difficult. But here is something interesting. Some people follow rules because they want to. They think this is the right thing to do. And some people follow rules because they are afraid. They think if I do not follow this rule, something bad will happen to me. Which one is better? I think the first one is better. But the second one is also important, and history shows us why. Today I will tell you stories. Stories from England, from France, from Russia, from Germany, from Japan. These stories are true, and they will help us understand people, rules, and civilization. Civilization is a big word. It means a society that is organized and developed. A civilization has laws, culture, art, science. But how do civilizations start, and what keeps them going? That is what we will explore today. The words I use are simple. At the end of each part, I will give you new vocabulary. There is also a question for you to think about. Are you ready to learn? Then let us begin. New words. Rule is something you must do or something you must not do. Steal, to take something that is not yours. Civilization, an organized and developed society. Vocabulary, words and their meanings. Explore, to learn about something new. Today, I want to tell you about two famous men. They lived a long time ago, and they had very different ideas about people. The first man was called Rousseau. He was a French thinker, a philosopher. He said something very interesting. He said, people are born good. What does that mean? It means when a baby comes into the world, the baby is good. The baby is not bad. The baby is not violent. The baby is not selfish. But then the world changes the baby. The child grows up. The child sees bad things. The child learns bad things. And slowly, the good person becomes less good. Rousseau said, the world is the problem, not the person. Now, the second man. His name was Hobbes. He was an English thinker, and he had a very different idea. Hobbes said, without rules, people are dangerous. He said, without laws, without governments, life is very bad. People will fight, people will steal, people will hurt each other. Life will be short and scary. So who is right, Rousseau or Hobbes? I think both of them have a point. Think about this. When a big disaster happens, like a flood or an earthquake, What do people do? Sometimes they help each other. They share food. They give water. That is the Rousseau side. People are good. But sometimes when the government falls and there are no police, people also steal. People fight. That is the Hobbes side. Without rules, things go wrong. So the answer is, people are in the middle. We can be good and we can be bad. It depends on the situation. It depends on the rules around us. It depends on our community. This is very important because it means rules and community help us be our best. Without them, we can become our worst. Now, let me tell you about a real example from history, a place where the rules were very, very strict and what happened because of those rules. That place is England, and I will tell you that story in the next part. New words. Philosopher, a person who thinks deeply about life and asks big questions. Violent, hurting people or things. Selfish, thinking only about yourself, not others. Disaster, a very bad event, like a flood or earthquake. Community, a group of people who live together. Situation, the things that are happening around you at a moment. It is a true story, and it might surprise you. Think about England. What do you know about English people? Many people think English people are very polite. They wait in line, they say sorry a lot, they follow rules. This is a famous idea about England. But 300 years ago, England was very different. Very, very different. 300 years ago, England had very strict laws, very scary laws. In England at that time, you could be killed for many things, not just for killing someone, not just for big crimes, for small things, very small things. For example, if you cut down a tree without permission, you could die. If you stole something worth 5 shillings, you could die. 5 shillings is a very small amount of money, but the punishment was death. If you were in a forest at night with a dark face, you could die. The government thought you were probably a criminal, and the punishment was death. This is very hard to believe today, but it is true. And there is something else. The punishment was not private. It was not hidden. It was public. Everyone could watch. People came to see the punishment. Why? Why was it public? Because it was a message. The message was clear. Follow the rules, or this will happen to you. So people were afraid, very afraid. And because they were afraid, they followed the rules, day after day, year after year. And something interesting happened. After many years, people did not follow rules because they were afraid. They followed rules because it was normal. It was just what you do. It became their culture. The fear became a habit. The habit became culture. And today, that culture is famous all over the world. This is a difficult story. It shows us something important. Polite culture can come from a dark history. The kindness and politeness we see in England today, it did not grow naturally. It was shaped by fear, by strict laws, by public punishment. That does not mean the old laws were good. They were cruel. They were unfair. But they changed the culture forever. History is often like this. Good things can come from bad beginnings, and we must remember both parts. I want to tell you about France. France has a very dramatic history. About 230 years ago, the French people were very angry. They had a king. His name was Louis XVI. The king was rich, the royal family was rich, but most French people were very poor. They did not have enough food. So the people said, "Enough! We do not want a king. We want freedom. We want equality. We want brotherhood." This was the French Revolution. A revolution is when people rise up and change their government. It is often violent. The French Revolution started with beautiful words: liberty, equality, brotherhood. These are wonderful ideas. But what happened next was not beautiful. After the Revolution, there was a period called the Reign of Terror. Terror means very great fear. During this time, thousands of people were killed. Not enemies, not foreign soldiers, ordinary French people. People who the new government did not trust. People who asked too many questions. People who seemed dangerous. The revolution for freedom became a time of fear and death. This is very sad, but it is true. Then a new leader came. His name was Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon was a military general. He was also very controlling. He was not a democrat. He did not ask people what they wanted. He decided, and everyone followed. But Napoleon did something very important. He created a new system of laws, clear laws, fair laws, the same rules for everyone. Before Napoleon, rich people had different rules than poor people. Powerful people could do things that ordinary people could not. Napoleon said, "No, everyone is equal under the law." These laws were called the Napoleonic Code, and they changed France and the world. Today, many countries still use laws based on Napoleon's ideas. So Napoleon was a controlling, powerful leader. He took freedom from people in some ways, but he gave them something very important: equal laws. This is the complicated lesson of Napoleon. A strong, strict leader can create something that lasts for hundreds of years, something that later generations call freedom. Freedom built on a foundation of control. Is that good? Is that bad? It is both, and that is history. New words. Revolution, when people fight to change their government. Liberty, freedom. Equality, when everyone has the same rights. Terror, very great fear. Ordinary, normal, not special. Democracy, a system where people choose their leaders. Foundation, the base that something is built on. I want to take you to Russia. Russia is a very big country. It has a very long and interesting history. And about 300 years ago, something dramatic happened in Russia. A man came to power. His name was Peter I, but history remembers him as Peter the Great. Peter was very tall, almost 2 meters. He was also very intelligent, very curious, very strong. He looked at Russia and he was not happy. He said, "Russia is behind. Europe is more advanced. We must change." Peter wanted Russia to be like Western Europe. He wanted Russian people to learn science, to build ships, to study engineering, to dress like Europeans, to think in a more modern way. But the Russian people did not want to change. They had their own culture, their own traditions, their own way of doing things, and they liked it. So what did Peter do? He forced them. He made new laws. You must wear European clothes, not traditional Russian clothes. You must cut your beard. The beard was very important in Russia at that time. It was part of the culture, part of the religion. Men kept long beards. It was normal. It was respected. But Peter said, "Cut it. And if you did not cut your beard, you paid a tax, a lot of money, every year just for having a beard." And Peter did not just make laws. He personally went to important men, nobles, officials, and cut their beards himself with scissors in public. Can you imagine the ruler of Russia cutting your beard himself because you would not change? Many people were shocked. Many were angry. But Peter did not stop. He sent people who refused to follow him to prison or to Siberia. Siberia is a very cold and difficult part of Russia, very far away. And slowly, Russia changed. Peter built a new city, St. Petersburg. It was a beautiful, modern city, like a European capital. He built ships, he created schools, he opened Russia to the world. Russia became stronger, more modern, more powerful. But many people suffered. They lost their traditions, their culture, their identity. They were forced to become something different. So Peter the Great helped Russia, and he also hurt Russia. Both things are true. This is the pattern we keep seeing in history. Change comes, but change has a cost. New words. Advanced means very developed and modern. Tradition means something that people have done for a long time. Tax means money you must pay to the government. Noble means a person from a rich, powerful, high-class family. Official means a person with an important job in the government. Identity means who you are, your culture and way of life. Pattern means something that happens again and again in the same way. Question for you. Should a leader force people to change if the change is good? Or should change always be a free choice? So far, I have told you stories from history. England, France, Russia. All of these stories are from hundreds of years ago. But now I want to talk about today, about the world we live in right now. Look around you. People look at screens all the time, on the bus, in restaurants, in bed, before sleeping, after waking up. This is normal today, but it is also new. 20 years ago, this did not exist. And I want to ask, is this a problem? Here is what I see. Many videos online are very simple, very shocking. People do extreme things, dangerous things, embarrassing things, just to get attention. And millions of people watch. These videos get millions of views, millions of likes. The people in the videos become famous. So what is the message? The message is, be shocking, be extreme, and you will be successful. This is a very bad message. In the past, there were systems that told people, be good. The church said, be kind, help others, be honest. The family said, we will be ashamed if you behave badly. The law said, bad behavior has a punishment. These systems were not perfect, but they pushed people toward good behavior. Now there is a new system. It is called the algorithm. The algorithm is a computer system that decides what videos you see. It watches what you click, what you watch for a long time, what you share, and then it shows you more of the same thing. If you click on shocking videos, you see more shocking videos. If you watch extreme content, you see more extreme content. The algorithm does not care if the content is good or bad. It only cares for one thing, keeping you watching. So it shows you the most exciting things, the most shocking things, the most extreme things. And slowly, slowly, normal things feel boring. Quiet things feel boring. Kind things feel boring. Your brain learns to need more excitement, more shock. This is a vicious cycle. A vicious cycle is a bad situation that keeps getting worse. Each step makes the next step worse. And the people who make bad content get more views, more money, more fame. So more people make bad content, and the cycle continues. This is very different from England 300 years ago. In England, the system pushed people toward good behavior. Today, the system often pushes people toward bad behavior. And nobody decided to make it this way. It just happened, step by step. So what can we do? I will tell you soon. New words: extreme, very far from normal. Attention, when people look at you and notice you. Algorithm, a computer system that chooses what to show you. Content, videos, pictures, and text online. Vicious cycle, a bad situation that keeps getting worse. Shame, feeling bad because you did something wrong. Behavior, the way you act. Can education fix the problem? In the last part, I talked about social media and the problem of the algorithm. Now, many people say the answer is education. Teach children to think, to read, to understand right and wrong. Then they will make good choices. This sounds like a very good idea. I agree that education is important. But I want to tell you something honest. Education alone is not enough. Let me explain with a story. Do you know anyone who smokes cigarettes? Maybe a friend, a family member, someone at work. Now, do they know that smoking is bad? Of course they do. Everyone knows smoking is dangerous. It is on the box of cigarettes. Doctors say it. Schools teach it. Everyone knows. But they still smoke. Why? Because knowing something is bad is not the same as stopping. Knowledge and action are different things. Here is another example. People know that eating too much sugar is bad for the body. They know it, but they still eat cake. They still drink sweet drinks. This shows us something very important. Knowing is not enough. We need more than knowledge. Now let me tell you about a famous man. His name was Rousseau. You remember him from part 2. He believed people are born good. Rousseau also wrote a famous book about education. The book was called Émile. It was about how to raise a child well, with kindness, with freedom, with love. It was a beautiful book. Many people loved it. But Rousseau had 5 children of his own, and he gave all 5 of them away. He sent them to an orphanage. An orphanage is a place for children who do not have parents. So the man who wrote the most famous book about raising children did not raise his own children. He knew what was right, but he did not do what was right. This is a very sad story, but it teaches us something important. Knowledge is not action. Knowing the right thing does not mean doing the right thing. So what do we need besides education?
We need community. We need people around us who expect us to behave well. When people around us have high expectations, we try harder. We do not want to disappoint them. We also need systems, rules, laws, things that make good behavior the normal thing. Education plus community plus rules, all three together. None of these alone is enough, but together they are powerful.
I want to talk about two countries, Germany and Japan. These two countries are very famous today. Let me tell you why. Think about Germany. Germany is famous for many things: very good cars, very good engineering. German products are known for high quality. German people are known for being organized, punctual, disciplined. Punctual means always on time. Disciplined means following rules and working hard consistently. Now think about Japan. Japan is also famous for quality. Made in Japan means very good. Japanese people are known for being very polite, very clean, very hard-working. In Japan, people apologize if they are even 1 minute late. Cleanliness is very important in Japanese culture. Respect for others is very important. Both countries are admired around the world. But here is the question: how did Germany and Japan become like this? The answer is not simple, and it is not comfortable. Let me start with Germany. About 150 years ago, Germany was not one country. It was many small states, many small kingdoms. A powerful man called Bismarck decided to unite them, to make one strong Germany. Bismarck was not gentle. He was very strong, very strict. He used military power. He forced states to join together. He created a culture of order, duty, and discipline. Duty means doing what is right for your country, even if it is hard. And over many years, that culture became part of who Germans are. Now Japan. About 150 years ago, Japan also changed very fast. Japan was a very old society. It had samurai warriors. It had shoguns like kings. This system had existed for hundreds of years. Then Japan decided to modernize, to become like Europe and America. The old system was destroyed very quickly. Samurai who refused to change were killed. Traditions that were hundreds of years old were ended. It was violent. It was painful. But Japan became modern very fast. And today, Japan is one of the most advanced countries in the world. So both Germany and Japan, their famous discipline, their famous politeness, their famous hard work, it all came from a very difficult, very violent past. The culture we admire today was built on a painful past. This does not mean the painful past was good. It was not. Many people suffered greatly. But it helps us understand something important. Cultures are shaped by their history. The good things we see today are connected to the hard things of yesterday. We can admire the result, but we must remember the price. What can we do? We have traveled a long way together in this series. England, France, Russia, Germany, Japan. Social media, education, rules, history. Now I want to ask the most important question. What can we do? You might feel small right now.
You are one person in a world of 8 billion people. How can one person change anything? I understand that feeling, but I want to tell you something important. Think about recycling. Maybe you recycle at home. You separate your plastic, your paper, your glass. Does your recycling alone save the planet? No, of course not. One person's recycling is very small. But why do you recycle anyway? Because you know that if everyone does it, it makes a difference, and you want to be part of the solution, not the problem. That is exactly the right way to think. You cannot control 8 billion people, but you can control one person, yourself. And your choices influence people around you. Your family sees what you do. Your friends see what you do. Your colleagues see what you do. Your children, if you have children, they watch you very carefully. Every good choice you make is like a small stone in a big, quiet lake. You throw the stone in, and waves go out in all directions. You cannot see where the waves go, but they go. So what are the good choices we can make? First, be careful about what you watch online. When you watch good content, interesting, educational, kind content, you support the people who make it, and you tell the algorithm, show me more of this. When you stop watching bad content, shocking, cruel, empty content, you stop supporting it, and slowly the system changes. Second, think about what you buy. Your money is a vote. When you buy something, you say, I support this. Choose carefully. Third, talk to people around you. Talk about ideas. Talk about history. Talk about what kind of world you want. Conversations change people. This conversation is changing you right now, I hope. Fourth, read, learn, think. When you understand the world better, you make better choices. You are less easy to manipulate. You are more free. These things are small, but they are not nothing. They are everything. Because every civilization that has ever existed was built by people making small choices every day. Not by kings alone, not by armies alone, by ordinary people living ordinary lives, making small, good choices. You are part of that story. New words. Recycle, to use something again or to process it so it can be used again. Solution, an answer to a problem. Influence, to have an effect on someone or something. Colleague, a person you work with. Algorithm, a computer system that chooses what to show you. Manipulate, to control someone in a clever and unfair way. Civilization, an organized, developed society. Question for you. What is one small thing you can do today to make the world a little better? Write it in the comments. I would love to read your answer. What did we learn? Let me tell you what we learned together. We started with a big question. Are people good or bad? And the answer is both. People are not 100% good, and they are not 100% bad. We are in the middle. We can be good and we can be bad. It depends on the world around us. It depends on the rules, the community, the culture. We looked at England 300 years ago. The laws were very strict, very cruel. You could die for cutting a tree, for stealing a little money. But those strict laws changed the culture. Fear became habit. Habit became culture. And today, English culture is famous for being polite and law-abiding. A dark beginning, a different ending. We looked at France. The revolution said liberty, freedom, equality. But after the revolution came the reign of terror. Thousands of innocent people died. Then Napoleon came. He was strong and controlling, but he created fair laws, laws that still exist today. Freedom was built on a foundation of control. We looked at Russia. Peter the Great forced his people to change. He cut their beards, he changed their clothes, he changed their world. Many people suffered, but Russia became stronger and more modern. Change came at a great cost. We looked at Germany and Japan. Both countries are famous today for discipline, quality, and hard work. But those qualities came from violent, painful histories. We can admire the result, but we must remember the price. We talked about today's world, social media, the algorithm, a system that shows us more and more extreme things, a system with no values, only attention. And we asked, what can we do? The answer is small things, every day. Watch carefully, think carefully, choose carefully. You are one person, but one person matters. One stone makes waves in the whole lake. Civilization is not just buildings and technology. Civilization is how we treat each other. Every day, in every small moment, in a shop, on the street, online, at home. That is the most important idea from today. I hope you enjoyed these 10 parts. I hope you learned some new English words, and I hope you learned something about history, people, and yourself. Key words from the whole series. Rule, something you must or must not do. Society, the group of people we live with. Culture, the way a group of people live and think. Civilization, an organized and developed society. Freedom, the ability to choose what you do. Discipline, controlling your own behavior well. Algorithm, a computer system that chooses what you see online. Revolution, when people fight to change their government. Tradition, something people have done for a long time. Influence, to have an effect on someone or something.